I've been recently feeling like life is quite stressful, even though I live in a van with my wife and we park up in these beautiful locations like we are here now. But the switch to the new lifestyle is very stressful. And thinking about stress is quite an extreme emotion, as well as, let's say, anger, maybe grief, maybe shame. All these emotions are very strong and they're very difficult to manage. So I wanted to share a 5-step approach that anybody can use to really dive deeply into the emotional difficulties that we experience every single day. Not only that, but that 5-step process will allow you to avoid situations, events, experiences that would create these difficult emotions for you. I think it's a very powerful approach. So bear with me while I explain the 5-step process to manage, overcome, and avoid difficult and challenging emotional states. Hello and welcome to Productively Mindful. My name is Yolanda Schultzes, and I talk about everything mindfulness and spirituality several times a week. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So obviously I mentioned a few difficult emotions that people get, including myself, because I am a person, I am not an alien. Difficult emotions are difficult for a reason. Oftentimes we just push them aside. We don't want to deal with them as they arise. So we just put them in our, let's say, hypothetical emotional pocket or hypothetical emotional wallet. And when it comes to an event, a situation, or an experience that's very similar, we go into that pocket or wallet and we pull out our prior experiences that are very similar to what we're experiencing now. And what happens then is that situation, that experience, that event that's happening now that's similar to what happened before makes the experience even worse than it was before. It keeps growing and growing and growing in intensity the more we delay dealing with the emotion, the more we delay dealing with the experience, the situation, the event that gives rise to these difficulties. So there's a very simple 5-step process that Buddhists use that applies to anybody, and you don't have to be into spirituality or mindfulness or anything like that. It is a legitimately good way to approach and analyze how you feel, your emotional states, and really, really understand why they happened, what caused them to re-arise or resurface, what are the primary and secondary causes and reasons why that emotion arises, and really, really delve deep into it and make sure that you can avoid these triggers, these causes to that emotional state. So let's start with the 5 steps on how you analyze, recognize, etc., your difficult emotional states. The first step is recognizing that that emotional state is present. Obviously, from a spiritual perspective, we always talk about being present, being in the current moment, and recognizing what you're feeling in this exact moment is the first step of being present and actually understanding what is happening. So if I, for example, feel anger within me, or let's take the current situation, let's take stress, right? Because I'm feeling a little bit of stress because of this change in the lifestyle and all these new experiences, right? So let's take stress. So what I would do as I feel stress, I would say in my head or out loud, at this current moment, I am stressed. You could also say, right now, stress is within me, right? So you basically have to recognize that you're feeling stressed, you're feeling angry, but you have to be specific about the fact that you're feeling stressed or angry or whatever the extreme emotion is right now, in this present moment. It is very important because if you don't recognize the presence of it, the urgency to, sorry, I keep getting eaten by bugs, the urgency to try and delve deeper to understand why that is the case, why that emotion has arisen, you will just push it aside and not do any of it. You might recognize it because of the simple fact that you're aware of what is happening right now, not fully and truly, but just simply aware. But you will not deal with it because you're not fully and truly aware. You're not present of that emotion. You're not present in the emotion. You're not aware of it. The second step, which is also a huge part of spirituality, is acceptance. That is a step that you do not take if you're not aware of the emotion in the sense that it's happening in the present moment, exactly right now. If you truly and fully recognize the emotion, the next paramount step that you need to do is accept it. Accept that you're angry. Accept that you're stressed, because as a matter of fact, it is undeniable because it is happening right now. It hasn't happened before, which would be out of your control. It's not going to happen in the future unless you don't deal with it now. And we can't guarantee the fact that something's going to happen in the next 5 seconds. It is happening right now. The only moment that is real, nothing else can be guaranteed, nothing else can be changed. Right now is the only moment that exists. And denying that is denying the flow of existence. It's denying the fact that you are here right now. It's as simple as that. So you need to accept it. Accept the fact that you're feeling that way. Accept the fact that you're stressed or angry or any other emotion, grief, sadness, shame, right? Accept what you're feeling right now. Once you accept it, almost instinctively, the next step is to embrace it, because you cannot accept what you're feeling in this present moment fully and truly unless you embrace it. So it's a step that you need to take, but it's almost a automatic and a step that's on autopilot simply by accepting what is happening in the present moment, your emotional state right now. If you accept it and then embrace it, you will start noticing that from within, from your very core of your essence, of who you are, a warmth will start rising, a sense of peace, a sense of understanding. It's as if energy starts bubbling at the very core of your energetic system, at the very root of your energy system, the root chakra. The energy is going to start bubbling up and it's going to start rising. One thing to note is that it doesn't happen after the first attempt. You try to take all these steps. It doesn't happen after the second attempt. Not even the third, not even the 10th. It can take a very long time for that to truly and fully happen and manifest in the moment. But in concept is simple. Embrace it. Embrace the emotion that's happening right now. What that's going to do is going to give you comfort. It's going to give you a sense of peace. It's going to give you understanding of what you're feeling. It's going to calm you down. And the reason why I emphasized calming down is because once you're calm enough, you can take the next step, the fourth step, which is understanding. Understanding why that emotion has arisen. Why are you experiencing this emotional state right now? What is the reasoning behind it, right? We really want to start understanding it once we're calm enough. Because when we're calm enough to do so, we can look at it with a clear mind, not with one that is polluted with the perpetual chatter, not the one that is trying to justify why you're feeling this way. There's no need to justify anything. So simply look deep within and try and understand, why am I feeling stressed? Why am I feeling angry? What caused that emotion to rise and happen in the present moment? And the last step that we want to take, which is arguably the most important step, and most of the time the most difficult step to get to because of all the steps that you need to take before: acceptance, recognition, embracing, understanding, right? It's very difficult just to get to the acceptance point. It's probably the most difficult part. Then embracing it. You can also have resistance there when you're trying to embrace what you're feeling. Understanding an emotion, something that doesn't really have physical substance. We are very good at understanding the physical world, but an emotion, they're very complicated to understand because oftentimes we never dig deep enough to really truly and fully understand our emotions. So the last step is insight. And what insight does, it gives you granularity towards understanding. It allows you to pinpoint the primary and secondary conditions, reasons, causes as to what it was specifically that made you feel anger, feel stress, feel shame, feel guilt, feel grief. For example, when I talk about primary and secondary conditions or causes, whatever you want to call it, if we look at my situation when it comes to stress, you could argue that the primary condition, the reason why I'm feeling stressed right now, is because I'm living in a van. The secondary condition or reason why I'm feeling stress could be something as small as my cat Speckle meowing, and I don't know why she's meowing. I don't know how to help her, so it stresses me out. But we need to really look. Maybe there's more than just primary and secondary. Maybe there's a third, maybe there's a fourth. That's why insights are so important. And you could even note these things down. If it helps you remember, if it helps you create better insight, write it down. Next time you get the same experience, same situation, same emotional state, make sure you keep those notes beside you so you can go back to those notes and figure out, is it the exact same situation? If it is, that is your cue to avoid situations like that. You're not trying to avoid the actual emotion, because avoiding emotions is avoiding experience, it's avoiding life, it's avoiding reality. Emotions will arise. We're not trying to run away from them. We're trying to fully and truly understand them, understand the reason behind it, and in a sense, build not emotional resilience. I was going to say emotional resilience, but emotional maturity, emotional awareness, almost like an awakening, right? That's what you want to build. And once you build it enough, once you have big enough awareness to be aware of all of the situations that cause certain emotional triggers for you, you will be able to avoid them, not by trying, but by simply living life instinctually and truly true to yourself. Those simple 5 steps you need to take: recognize, accept, embrace, understand, and then do insight. 5 steps. I can do 3. Then if I want to straighten that finger, it just doesn't work. 5. Anyway, 5 steps that I talked about. And this is like everything that I talk about, everything spirituality. There's so many paradigms and weird things in spirituality. And one of the most annoying things about spirituality, you could argue, is the fact that everything feels natural. Everything seems simple in concept, but in practice, it is very difficult. Which is why I said it's not going to happen in the first time, the second time, 5th, 10th time even. You have to keep practicing it over and over and over again. Every single time you get a situation, an opportunity to do so, which is another reason why we do not want to avoid emotions. We want to embrace them because they are amazing opportunities for us to grow, change, and become better. I hope this all makes sense. I'm a mindfulness and spirituality guide, and I help people overcome very difficult situations in their life that they do not seem to overcome through conventional means. Spirituality, arguably, by most, is a very unconventional way to approach life. But I promise you, it's something that will start feeling more real than what you thought is real. And if you want to have an experience of what it is, I have a free masterclass group. There's a link underneath the video. If you click on it, you'll be able to join that masterclass completely for free. I host several free sessions there. I post monthly videos there as well, talking about the topics that you guys choose. All of that content is going to be completely exclusive to that group. And that is where I'm going to cover more in-depth and more complicated topics. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you click like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's have a discussion underneath. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Have you ever tried this approach? If you have tried it, let me know how it worked for you. I'm always keen to learn different approaches, different understandings, different perspectives towards the topics that I speak about. This has been Ilanda Schulzes from Productively Mindful. I love you all. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. I'll leave you with this view. Goodbye. Ba-dum-bum.